Adobe Max is the creativity conference which happened between 18th and 20th of October in Las Vegas, Nevada. A lot of new products get showcased along with upgrades to existing ones. One of the biggest headliners this year was the Adobe Lightroom. In this video, we will check out what are the new things coming as a part of Adobe Lightroom. Unlike past, we now have three versions of Lightroom. Yes, you heard it right. It's Lightroom 6, Lightroom CC, and Lightroom Classic CC. What are each of these and what are the differences and what's the best for you is what we are going to see in this video. First, let's see what are each of these Lightroom versions. First of all, Adobe Lightroom 6. Adobe Lightroom 6 is basically the perpetual license version of the Adobe Lightroom. This is the version of Lightroom which you actually purchase by paying a fee in one shot instead of going for the Creative Cloud subscription. You pay outright money and pick up a license of the Adobe Lightroom which is available with you for lifelong. But the catch here is that Adobe Lightroom 6 will lose all its support after 2017. So any new features that are coming after 2018 will not be ported into Adobe Lightroom 6. So that would mean that any new cameras or any new features that are going in as a part of Lightroom will not be ported into the perpetual license version of the Adobe Lightroom. So what does it mean? So what do you do if you already have a Adobe Lightroom 6 or a perpetual license of an Adobe Lightroom? There are three options that you can choose for and probably more if you try to think about it. The first and foremost is the obvious one, which is you can either sign up for a Creative Cloud photography package or a Lightroom CC subscription. Exactly is the Lightroom CC subscription is something which we're going to see next. But signing up for the Creative Cloud package is one thing which you can opt for so that you always have the latest and the greatest version of the Lightroom available at your disposal. The second thing is you could use the Lightroom ability to import the files as a DNG or probably even shoot a JPEG version of a file along with your RAW version so that you can import your JPEG version of the file for editing in the Lightroom 6, which is not something which I would suggest you to do. The third and the last option would be to use a native raw processing software available with your cameras, that is a Canon, Nikon, Sony, Panasonic or Olympus, and import the TIFF version which is exported from the raw processing software into Adobe Lightroom 6 and continue using it for editing on the Lightroom. This is a bit of a tedious process, but this is what is the options that is left to you if you want to stick to the perpetual license and don't want to move into the subscription model of the Lightroom. Up next is the Adobe Lightroom CC. This is a new version of the Lightroom which is released this year, and this is basically a cloud native photo app. This is an app which is available on cloud and available anytime and anywhere. What this actually means is that you can have this app on your phone, on your tablet or an iPad, and on your desktop or your laptop and access your photos anywhere and everywhere. A photos which is imported using a phone or a tablet is available for you to view, edit and even export or share on your desktop immediately. Adobe tags the Lightroom CC with a very unique phrase which is cutting edge image analysis and artificial intelligence. This is related to the search feature which is based on the artificial intelligence which the Lightroom CC is built upon. Unlike previously wherein you used to tag the images with keywords or certain metadata, in Lightroom CC you have the ability to search images based on artificial intelligence built into it. So if you search for sunset images, it's not just the sunset images which you have tagged, but also Lightroom CC will do an analysis on the images which is already in the database and shows up all the images which corresponds to sunset images. So just like the Lightroom which we had all these years, we can continue to add, manage, edit, search or even share photos using Lightroom CC. When it comes to Lightroom CC, there are two packages in which it is available. It is bundled along with the Creative Cloud photography package which costs you about $9.99 per month with about 20 GB of storage, or a $19.99 per month with 1 terabyte of storage. But if you're someone who would not like to go for the Creative Cloud photography package, which also comes with the Lightroom Classic, which is the other and the third version of Lightroom, along with Photoshop, then you can go for the standalone version of the Lightroom CC, which costs you about $9.99 per month with about 1 terabyte of storage. Adobe is even running an offer wherein the Creative Cloud photography package is available with 1 terabyte of storage for only about $14.99 per month, which is definitely a good steal if you are someone who would like to use more of Lightroom CC. The third and final, Lightroom Classic CC. This name might sound a little bit strange for you because of the word classic, The Adobe Lightroom Classic CC is basically the Lightroom CC which was available all these years. This is the original desktop or a folder based photo app which all of us use day in and day out for our photo organizing, editing, and sharing. One of the biggest concerns with the Adobe Lightroom was its performance or speed, either while importing or while editing or switching between the modules. The performance one of the biggest issue which Adobe tried to address in this particular update. They definitely have made a huge improvement when it comes to performance or speed. Along with the performance and speed upgrades, Adobe has also added a few of new features which we're going to see now. One of the new features that is incorporated along with Lightroom Classic CC is the embedded with sidecar previews. Unlike in past where we had only 1:1 minimal or standard previews, we also now have embedded with sidecar previews. What exactly is this embedded with sidecar previews is that the JPEG images previews which are available as a part of the raw image that you shot in the camera is used so that the rendering of the image is faster when you're importing the bulk of images. This will enable you to preview as well as cull or sort the images much faster than before. So if you see a performance comparison, embedded with sidecar previews loads way too faster when compared with the minimal, standard or 1:1 previews. Secondly, the range mask. Adobe Lightroom Classic CC now comes with either color or a luminosity based selection tool which will help you define a shape or a region in your image so that you can do selective editing in a much precise way. The third new feature that is incorporated as a part of Adobe Lightroom Classic CC is the larger standard preview. All these days we were used to editing images on our desktops or laptop which were a full HD displays or some of them even a 2.5K or a 4K displays. But as days progresses, more and more 4K, 5K and even 8K monitors are coming into picture, and Adobe realized that it's high time that they introduce high resolution standard previews. We now get to see 4K resolution standard preview in Adobe Lightroom Classic CC. One of the best point about including the standard preview in a larger size is that there is a specific feature available in Lightroom Classic CC wherein if you have used embedded with sidecar previews for import and want to use larger standard preview while you're doing the editing, you can select that option in the preferences. Adobe Lightroom Classic CC will ensure that the images switches from embedded with sidecar preview to a larger standard preview, which is a good point especially when you're considering the performance aspect of the Lightroom Classic CC. The last of the new feature is related to export. Now in the export wizard, you now have an option to disable tagging of the raw metadata when you're exporting the images. So there is basically a drop down button which will enable you to select an option called export without raw metadata, which will actually scrap all your metadata from your JPEG or the TIFF image that you are exporting so that only the basic required metadata is passed on to the exported file. So these are the three new versions of Lightroom, or the three new names for the Lightroom that is available in the market right now. If you are wondering what's good for you and what's the one which you have to pick up, whether you are supposed to stick to Adobe Lightroom 6 or you have to upgrade to Lightroom CC, let's check out what's good for you. To answer this question, let's understand what's the difference between them. For the sake of this discussion, we are not even considering Lightroom 6 because of the inherent fact that after December 2017, there will not be any new features that will be ported into the perpetual license, as well as the lack of support for newer cameras that will be not coming into the Lightroom's perpetual version, which makes us discard that particular version out of this comparison. First of all, let's see the advantages and disadvantages of Lightroom CC. Lightroom CC is an anytime, anywhere type of application wherein you can use it whenever you want to continue with your edit or import of photographs, and this is totally internet dependent, and considering the data or the number of images that you want to work on, it's heavily dependent on the bandwidth of your internet. This will ensure that you are not confined to your laptop or desktop for editing, or any editing that's done on laptop or desktop is available on your tablet or phone to continue editing or sharing it with the external world. One of the best new features should be the AI based search that is available in Lightroom CC. We have to just wait and see based on the number of images that we are imported into the Lightroom catalog, so that whether all the images that get searched based on a particular keyword matches what we are intending to search. The drawbacks, what I see, especially on the Lightroom CC, is related to the end of subscription model. Provided you don't renew a subscription, the edit and sync won't work on your Lightroom CC. This would mean that you will be able to only see the images but not edit or export them. Adobe actually gives you an option to renew your subscription or download all the images that is present in your catalog to your local hard drive, and it will give you up to 1 year to do the same. But if you have more and more images that are uploaded into the internet, the downloading will also take a larger number of time. So if it is something which you are banking on to invest, especially the Lightroom CC, you need to have a long-term plan, and you need to see whether it's the right approach and the right path for you to take, especially when you stop the subscription, because all your images are not stored on your local drive, but they're stored on the Adobe Cloud Server. On the contrary, Lightroom Classic CC is something which is available on the desktop, and it has always been the case. And it is very suitable when the data volume is very high, especially for someone who is shooting, say, something like a wedding or events. The number of images that are coming out of every shoot is huge, and it might be a little bit of challenge for the user to actually upload all these images to the cloud and then continue working. So Lightroom Classic CC is ideal when the data volume is extremely high. The second point that I want to highlight, which probably I could have done it as a negative for Lightroom CC, is the features. As of now, the Lightroom CC is a very new and very nascent, so all the features that is available in Lightroom Classic CC is not ported to Lightroom CC, and it's just a matter of time that we get to see Lightroom CC as a very full-fledged and a capable app. But as of this moment, if you want to compare Lightroom CC with the Lightroom Classic CC, the Lightroom Classic CC has more options for you compared to the Lightroom CC. Lastly, the issue at the end of subscription when it comes to Lightroom Classic CC is that you won't be able to use the develop or map modules and won't be able to sync any of your work to the cloud. The Lightroom forces you to limit to using quick develop tools or just the organizing feature of the Lightroom Classic CC, and you won't be able to continue editing any of your images, be it the ones which are already imported or the ones which you are importing next. So any of the developing feature or the edit features gets disabled when the subscription is not renewed. But all the images are on your desktop or on your hard disk, so there is no worry of you losing the images and have to worry about downloading all the images from the cloud. So that's it for Lightroom CC and the Lightroom Classic CC comparison. Hope that will give you an idea what's the best for you. If you were to ask me, I would continue to stick to Lightroom Classic CC for a few more years and see whether Lightroom CC really evolves and develops into becoming a very complex and an able editing app. But the whole thing of me having to bank on internet to upload all the images and edit on the web is something which will refrain me from adopting Lightroom CC on a full-term basis. Adobe has already started getting questions like, if just like the perpetual license, if in future if the classic version of the Lightroom will get descoped. So we got to hear from Tom Haggerty, the Adobe Product Management Director itself. He mentioned that they are not planning to phase out Adobe Lightroom Classic CC, and they remain committed to investing in the Lightroom Classic features in the future. This is exactly what they had told few years back when it comes to the perpetual license. They did mention that the perpetual license will continue forever, but 4 years down the line they have already shut doors for the perpetual license. So it's just a matter of time that we get to see if Lightroom Classic CC will also hit the end of the road, and Lightroom CC is the only way to continue if you want to use the Lightroom. If that's the case, it's high time to move over to other digital asset management softwares. So that's it for this video, and hope you learned what are the new versions of Lightroom available in the market and also able to decide on which is the best one for you. If you like the video, please make sure that you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel for more content like this. This is me Shiv signing off, and I'll see you guys again in the next one.